Hey there, this is your pal Pallie, and welcome back to Overrated. This is episode number 28, and a slightly delayed episode. Sorry about that, guys. Last weekend was a busy time for me, and had a lot going on, but I'm back with a probably two-parter type, two subjects, one episode type approach here, because I got a lot to talk about, and a lot of fun experiences that I've had over the past week. So, today we're going to be talking about a couple things. One is Warlord of Draenor patch notes, not necessarily what they are, but how to react to them. And then secondly, a little diatribe about the WoW raiding community. So here we go. We've gotten a massive amount of information with Warlords of Draenor patch notes. We've gotten another ability pruning pass according to Blizzard. This is the second one. There may be more. There's still some notes to be coming, I guess. I'm sure there'll be a lot more changes in general. Yeah, that's just how it goes. But with all of these changes and whatnot, I'd sort of like to take a step back and let the community know how you should be reacting to these types of things. So, of course, this is alpha. They've got a lot of changes that they want to do. They've got a lot of changes that they want to try. So you're going to see a lot of stuff. And first of all, there are a lot of places that you can go to get the information. First off, Blizzard themselves put out the patch notes, and many sites will scrape that and put it on their site for people to discuss and talk about and put it in a nice format. So, first of all, take a look at patch notes if you're interested in this type of thing. Secondly, there are a lot of people who are in the alpha right now, and they're raid streaming, and they're talking, and they're reacting, and they're posting on forums, and all that other jazz. So, find someone there, follow them, see what's going on in the patch, in the expansion. So, between the patch notes, forums, streams, videos, etc., there's a lot there to digest. And first off, you really have to be careful who you're watching and who you're listening to and who you're reading on the forums. And I don't mean like that there's some bad people out there. What I mean is that there are a lot of different extreme reaction types. So here's at least two. The first one is, it's fine. This is alpha. This is beta. They're gonna fix that stuff. Don't worry about it. It's alpha. It's cool. That's one. Two. They took that out? Are you kidding me? I am re-rolling Warlock. No, not even. I'm not even going there. I am done. Yeah. So you see, there are two extremes that you will see, and I guarantee if you open up any forum thread on TankSpot, on MMO, there's gonna be these opposing views of, oh, it's all cool, or, oh my god, the sky is falling. So, you have to sort through much of that reaction to get a general feeling for the community on how things are looking. So how do you do that? Well, start taking a look at these forum threads or videos or whatever and piece through the actual details yourself. So you can look at the patch notes and go, like for survival hunters or for hunters in general, okay, they're making survival hunters more of a dot class. That's what people are saying. How are they doing that? Okay, well, they still got Black Arrow, and they're going to be the only class, the only spec of Hunter that's going to have the Serpent Spread, which is now Serpent Sting, which is auto-applied by Arcane Shot, and then they're going to have Explosive Trap, which also applies a dot, blah, 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 blah. So you can start to piece it together for yourself. And you can start thinking, okay, if I'm playing Survival, is it going to... maybe I played a Warlock. Is it going to feel like an Affliction lock? Is it going to be like, okay, I got to put these things up, and that, dictates this? Is it going to be like that? I don't know. Is it going to be like, well, there's these two dots you worry about, but there's all these other filler shots and other things that you're doing, spells, whatnot. Just start to, theorize in your head what you think your rotation might be. And certainly now at this point, where they've gotten to the alpha that's friends and family, you can actually see some of that in the live streamers. So take, sort of that reaction, the alpha patch notes, and then take that sort of live, so to speak, and watch people who are playing a hunter, if they're playing that survival. If you see them running a dungeon and they're throwing down explosive traps, oh, okay, that seems to be more of a core rotation thing, maybe. They don't really have a bunch of cooldowns up, so that's kind of weird. So I'm not going to have to worry about that kind of stuff. I'm not sure if I'll like that or not. Again, make your own reaction to it. Make your own opinion on what you've seen and what you theorize and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying you need to break out the napkin math and figure out that, well, if it's the last tick of black arrow, you need to reapply that instead of explosive trap because you have a 0.25 more percent. No, forget it. But just start to figure out how it feels. Now, why are we forming our own opinion? Well, it's nice to have your own opinions on things, certainly. But it's also nice to be able to provide Blizzard with the feedback at this point. Because this is alpha. It's alpha. It's not yet beta. Maybe by the time this is out, it'll be beta. But anywho, this is a point where they're trying many things. They're going, let's see how this plays out. It didn't work. Let's pull that back. Let's throw this out there. And if you, and again, I'm talking hunter specifics, but it's true for many of the other classes. They have done many things where they've experimented with stuff and thrown stuff out there, and now they've pruned some more abilities, etc., etc. So it's happening. I've seen it. Like, for example, survival was supposed to have like no cooldowns unless you talent into them. Okay, they did. They said no cooldowns, no rapid fire, no nothing. It's gone. And then people were like, well, that seems weird. Can we please have some sort of cooldown? Can we have something that's like survival specific? I'm like, well, okay. So they went, well, survival's about traps. Let's give them bear trap, which they've actually had before in a previous beta. I'm not sure which one, but anywho, here's bear trap, and it roots the target, and it puts a massive bleed on it. Not just like a little ticking dot, but here's a massive bleed, and it's on a 3-minute cooldown after some weird talent perk stuff. Anywho, it's a somewhat major cooldown. Cool. So, they put bear trap in there. And they put alpha out there and had people playing it. And it didn't work out for whatever reason. So, bear trap's gone. So, they do these passes on abilities and they go, let's try this. Let's try this. And then they want to see from not just the numbers perspective, but from the fun factor, how people are playing it, and if they're complaining about it, or think it's weird, or whatever, having trouble figuring it out, then they make additional changes, which may be to remove what they just put in and try something else. So, bam. That's why we're forming our own opinions, because we could then, even if you don't have alpha access, you can make some opinions based on how you think it's playing or how you think. Like, again, back to hunters, you could watch someone who is live streaming or has some videos out on Beast Mastery Hunters. They now have like a 3-button rotation. They've got Arcane Shot, they've got Cobra Shot, and they've got Kill Command. That's their main stuff now. Yes, they'll have a level 90 talent and Bestial Wrath and cooldowns and all that other jazz. But like, that's 3 buttons. I mean, we're almost arcane mages, guys. No, sorry, arcane mages. I had to throw it out there. I had to. But if you look at someone and you watch someone playing that and go, man, there really doesn't seem to be much skill to this. It seems to be like Arcane Shot, Kill Command, Cobra Shot, Arcane Shot. Like it seems monotonous. You can provide that feedback to Blizzard and go, hey, I was watching so-and-so stream, and here's what I think about it. Bam! They may make a change and go, well, okay, actually we want some other shot to be in the rotation for Beast Mastery, so we made this change again. I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Or maybe there's more stuff about pets that's supposed to have... I don't know. Make your opinion known. Post on the forums. Get in there. See what you like. And again, you may not be... really ingrained into theory crafting or all this stuff, but you can still have an opinion on what's fun to play and how it feels to play the spec. Like, for example, for me, I really did not like, and I still don't like, how Beast Mastery plays. it seemed for me, for at least for quite a while, to be just like, well, it's pretty regular how this all happens. That was my opinion on Beast Mastery, at least for this tier. I kind of like survival because there was a little randomness of, well, I got my lock and load proc. Oh, my tier bonus just kicked in. Man, lock and load. Oh, yeah, explosive shots. And then sometimes it was like, oh, I'm not really getting it. I got to work a little harder to get to that, explosive shots, lock and loads. So it seemed like a little bit more dynamic to me. Again, totally my opinion on what was fun to play, but I really enjoyed survival this tier as opposed to Beast Mastery. I haven't really ever delved into marksmanship yet. A lot of the interesting changes they had in marksmanship for alpha have now been cut. So, I don't know, marksmanship hunters are not very happy right now. If you look at forums, I think they're on the extreme of, yeah, screw you, Blizzard. But anywho, again, more to come, I'm sure, with the passes of abilities from Blizzard. But anywho, I have this feeling on Beast Mastery versus Survival, and I can provide that. Here I am providing it. If anyone from Blizzard's watching, here you go. That was my opinion on this current tier. Same can be said for people watching alphas. Post on the forums, tell them what's up. So, again, form your opinion based on a couple places, sort out the crap from what's real detailed and real good opinions, and present your opinion back, see what happens, and hopefully your class makes it through and we don't cut hunters from, the possible classes you can pick. No, it's never. They're not going to cut a class. Sorry. That's actually one reaction that I saw recently was like, well, I guess hunters are just not going to be a class anymore. I'm like, what? Really, dude? Really? Anywho, so that's a wrap up for my first subject of today. The second one is more of a diatribe, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, some sort of tangent, so to speak. And the reason I'm going down this path is maybe to point myself in the direction of where I want to head with my content and such, but what I'm really coming to realize, and I should have a long time ago, is that there are millions of people playing this game, and millions of people at various ability levels and various dedication levels and all that kind of jazz. And I mean, that just seems obvious to anyone playing the game and anyone that's researched this game or anyone who's talked about this game. But the reason I say this is because it gets really easy for people to be caught up in the current tier structure or whatever you want to call it that they're in at the moment. So what I would say is that there's a lot of castes, there's a lot of classes, so to speak, of raiders, and certainly there's that top 1%, there's the guys way up here who are killing the things first week, killing heroic boss in a month, and all that kind of stuff. There's that. And then there's, a bigger section of sort of top 5-10% of raiders that seem to be grouped together in terms of skill and in terms of, how much they dedicate to the game and whatnot. And, there's that section and there's further sections, and et cetera, et cetera. And at this point in the expansion, you could start at least this point in the tier, you could sort of break it down by at least how many bosses they've gotten down in the current tier. And so obviously that 1%'s been done for months. And then the next section is sort of 14 out of 14 heroic, for the last 2 or 3 months, down to maybe, 11, 12 out of heroic, something like that. And then, further are people who are breaking into heroics, and, sort of maybe the gap widens a bit of people in this section, so to speak, who are, 0 out of 14 heroic all the way up to 9 or 10 or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of these sections of people, I think. And certainly people can move from one to the other. I'm not saying this is like some weird exclusive club or something like that. But anywho, I think it's very easy when you're in one of those sections of groups of people that you focus on that group and go, well, based on what's happening with the Warlords Alpha or anything, that means that they're killing this section of raiding and it's going to be terrible and blah. Or, alright, cool, us special snowflakes here on top are getting our just rewards and therefore screw everyone else, because if you're not this good, you should be. You know, there are those opinions out there. There are certainly a ton like that. And again, you can get focus on that group, and you have those tinted glasses based on that. And what I'm sort of getting at is that I feel like there are bigger opportunities for the raiding community and the sort of community in general of WoW to capitalize on moving people in between those groups and making a bigger community effort to be one WoW raiding community, or one community of people who are playing WoW. I'm not talking kumbaya, we're all happy, whatever. But what I'm saying is that you can service quite a few people, quite a few groups there if you broaden your approach. And that's what I'm going to probably try to be doing over the next few months. And again, this is, maybe self-justification or something, but I feel like I can service even further groups of people here based off of where I am and my experience, etc., etc. So certainly I'm in that top 5-10% group at the moment based off of where I'm at progression-wise right at the moment. So 13 out of 14 heroic, working on Garrosh heroic, blah, blah, blah. That's where I'm at. But, what sort of got me going on this, and probably a number of things got me going on this, but one recent encounter I had was someone looked me up on my Facebook group for Get a Raid. So I post my overrateds, I post my raid guides on there. It's not a big group at the moment. If you want to subscribe to that group, let me know. But I'll post links, of course, as usual. But some guy just looked me up and was like, hey, I got some questions about Prop Pallie. And in my head, the first thing that I thought was, crap, I haven't rated a bunch on my Prop Pallie. I'm not 13 out of 14 heroic on him. How am I going to answer this dude's questions? Whoa, oh crap, what's going on? But no, I just started talking to the guy, and he was like, hey, how do I get AoE aggro using a Prop Pallie? I'm coming back to the game, I take breaks here and there, and I'm just wanting to know, I feel like in LFRs or in the groups that I'm running, I can't seem to get aggro on a bunch of mobs. And so we go talking about, glyphs, and we get to talking about rotation a little bit, and here's Hammer of the Righteous, try to get yourself positioned, and Holy Wrath and Consecration is good, bad, whatever. We started talking little rotational stuff. And, I even sort of referenced some Prop Pallies that I know and said, hey, what are the best glyphs and all that other kind of stuff, so I knew where to get the information. But, this guy just wanted some basic tips on how do I do this, this, and this, and this guy's looking to form a group, and he's getting going, and they're gonna, head off into Throne of Thunder, grind some gear, and then start Siege of Orgrimmar flexes, I assume, at some point down the road. Good luck and all that kind of stuff, and happy to see that groups are still forming that kind of stuff. But, what struck me was my own reaction to just being asked about this and going, well, this isn't, some guy who's talking to me about what's the best maximum damage abilities, blah, blah, blah. He's just talking some basic, at least basic to me, stuff that people just pick up in the game. And where do they pick that up? At this point, not very many places, or at least I feel like there's not many places that pick up that sort of information and go with it. So, again, I'm not saying I'm suddenly going to become the Prop Pallie, recruitment guy and lead everyone to the promised land of prop Palliedom or something. Prop Palliedom. What? But what struck me about the encounter was this guy was very thankful for the time I spent and all the questions and answers and whatnot. And I just realized, look, I've been stuck in my little bubble up here thinking, man, I really want to have a Heroic Garrosh guide out so I can be part of that, 1% or 2%. I guess at this point it's 3%. 3% of guilds have Heroic Garrosh done. But I'm really thinking like, well, no one in the community is going to take me serious if I don't have Heroic Garrosh done. And I'm sitting here going, that's complete crap. Why would my opinion be, changed by not having that kill? What? I just have my opinions on raiding, on WoW, and whatever. And what does it matter that I'm at this place? I can help people who are below me. I can talk to people who are above me. I mean, I had this nice interaction with this person who was below me, so to speak. Again, I don't think of myself as that or something, not better or worse, whatever. But I also had a conversation with a hunter whose guild rejected me when I was trying to apply, and we're talking about like all these, 1% increases of things I could do to my DPS, and I'm sure to him or her, I actually don't know. I think it's a him. I didn't actually check that, but anywho, I think to them, they're sitting here going, yeah, this is kind of basic stuff that I learned, years ago. Maybe the guy looks down on me for that, but maybe not. Maybe he's going, hey, I'm happy to help someone and happy to squeeze another 1% DPS out for you. Just, you sort of, and again, getting teary-eyed or mystical about this, but there is that sort of flow between community and the castes of community or whatever, but we don't really have a way to facilitate that yet, or at least we're not good at it. So I think there's better opportunities for us to bond as a community and get people moving between the different rating tiers or classes, so to speak, of what we've delved out, what we've divided out in this sense. So I think, and even more so, a video I had, an overrated I had recently, was talking about the group finder and how that was going to be a possible, stepping stone for people. I really think, given all of this thought, I'm going, yeah, I was probably right on with that, because, hey, you're an LFR? Cool. You get done with LFR gear grinding, and you're bored on a Saturday night, you go to Group Finder, you go, hey, there's someone running normal mode, tier 17. Okay, cool. I hop in. Hey, this is kind of neat. I was able to keep up with some of them, but I got destroyed by their other hunter. Maybe I'll ask him what he's doing. And you start getting the rating bug, and it's like there's an opportunity there for the community to service those people who are going to LFR who might want a more organized group, but just don't know how to get there. So, anywho, there's a lot around that topic, and maybe I'll discuss more about it, but I did want to take a moment to have the community sort of realize there's some opportunity there. And I hope to help, at least in my way, to start to service that. And, some of my quick guides that I did a quick guide on OQ just recently. That's what I did last week, not doing overrated. So I did that guide as like hey, here's what Group Finder is going to be kind of like. Maybe you can check out OQ and get into some groups and see what's out there. But those kind of little things about here's LFR in 30 seconds. Actually, that going back to the conversation with that prop Pallie, he was like, I just wish someone in an LFR would say, he's at Siegecrafter Blackfuse in LFR going, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what stacks are or when I'm supposed to pick up this guy and move him away or whatever. Just if someone could take 30 seconds and say, pick up that guy, move him away, do this, taunt back at this, done. Just stuff like that. And that guy suddenly knows a bit about that encounter, and eventually when they get to flex mode, he can help his other tanks figure that kind of stuff out, and it all grows from there. It's all a good positive thing, as opposed to the negative response that he got, which was, well, you should already know this, vote to kick this tank, you know? I mean, come on. I know people want quick LFRs, but, you know, seriously, we have to be nice to our fellow man a little bit. Alright, so that's I'll stop there with that piece, because it could get into some teary-eyed stuff at that point. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that little piece, and certainly my discussion about the Warlords of Draenor alpha patch notes and how to react and all the other kind of stuff. Happy to be back in the saddle doing Overrated. This has been number 28, talking about patch notes and talking about yay community. Anywho, as always, guys, please comment, like, subscribe to the video if you found it helpful. All that jazz if you found it entertaining. If you like cats, there wasn't any of these episodes. Sorry, I'll work on that. Anywho, thanks, guys, for watching, and have a good one.